My name is Epiphany, and I am joined by a very special guest. I'm joined by Supersonic today. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Looking forward to getting to check this out. Been talking with Jake and got to see the Mnvl finals of last season. Was trying to do some stuff back in Vegas when I was there and built some high school esports, and they didn't want to do it. I came out here and Mnvl's running. This thing's been awesome, so I had to get involved in some way somehow. So I'm looking forward to casting some of these matches today.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And guys, we've got some great matches ahead of us today. We're going to start things off with a very good one. We're starting off with Burnsville Black versus Rogers. It's going to be a great Rocket League match, and we've got three matches today, so we've got a lot to go through. But first one's going to be a great one. We've got the return of Dorka, one of our key players from last season. And I just want to thank everybody for being here today. It's been a great week one here at Mnvl. I'm excited to get the season going into week two, but it's time we close things out with some Rocket League today.
Yeah, it's I Rocket League holds a special place in my heart. And getting to do this first one is just kind of humorous to me because Dorka plays on my MNCS
Oh yeah,
roster. I mean, he plays a couple divisions above me. I'm not I'm not as good as Dorka is. But he's been asking me for a couple days if I was going to be doing this, and I've just kind of been shrugging him off. So just a second ago, I sent the message off. Hey, see you on stream. No pressure. So little seeing if I can just kind of poke at him a little bit. A little extra pressure on Dorka, make him show up for the day.
for sure. Yeah, I'm hoping Dorka can really come out and be that strong player that we expect him to be, because we know how powerful of a player he is on this Burnsville team, and we know what he can do. If he can propel this team in the right direction, it's sure to be great for them in the long run here in the year, and I think they could really, really do well.
Yeah, I mean, right here too, if it being twos rather than threes, that format is going to lend itself better to individual play as well. So teams, when you have somebody that is that like standout player, they can be a bit more impactful in this 2v2 environment. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes into play at all here in the series at all. So we'll keep an eye out, see if anybody pops off.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And, one more thing that I kind of want to touch on in general, too, is Rocket League in general has been one of those key games for MNVL, right? Where we had last year at State, for example, just so much energy, so much passion for this game in general. And that's just something I want to see continue. I really, really love the way that these guys kind of play the game and the sportsmanship that I see, and it's really, really a special thing. Rocket League is one of those kind of keystone MNVL games, I'd have to say. And Supersonic, I want to ask you, as somebody who's highly involved within the Rocket League community, how do you kind of look at Rocket League in general and the scope of the broader esports community? I just kind of want to hear your 2 cents.
Rocket League is kind of a special, different style esport. Typically within an esport space, let's say let's use this as an example, right? Trying to bring a parent, somebody into something that they're not normally experiencing in an esport. You run them. We'll use League of Legends. You look at League of Legends, and you're not somebody that plays League or plays at a level that, like, even if you're very casual, sometimes the higher level is very hard to figure out what's going on. There's so many layers to it. Rocket League, though the skill ceiling is extremely high, and I don't think we've hit it. It continues to raise every season within the world of the professional level. Um, Somebody can look at this that doesn't play this game and immediately become a fan. There's an immediate understanding of what's going on. It's soccer. Okay, cool. They're contained in it. Oh man, that guy just drove off the wall. That was cool. Oh, he jumped off the ceiling. Oh, that's cool. So as you see new things happen, it goes from a very basic understanding, and everything else is high level mechanics are simple enough to understand for a new viewer to realize something just happened and go, oh, that is a cool moment. Like it's just the simplicity of that is what lends itself so well to Rocket League, and why we've seen Rocket League esports continue to grow and thrive over the years, especially through the pandemic, et cetera, and why it's kind of become a staple and continue to grow. So it's just a super cool, very unique game.
Yeah, I mean, it is super unique. And part of the thing that I really love about Rocket League too is just as you said, the understanding is so easy. You can go into looking at that game and you know what's going on. Oh, they're just trying to get the ball in the goal. It's just like soccer, but with cars and with flying, with boosters. And it's like it gets kind of elevated to this whole different level that you don't normally see, and it makes it that much more interesting. And that's kind of something you look for, especially in high school esports, is the utilization of those other factors, because you have all these tools at your disposal that you can use to exceed within the game. And I mean, I just remember watching at state finals of last year, just kind of looking at the players play the game and in the whole audience situation. I wasn't casting it, and it was great for me just to watch and hitting goals, and some of those teamwork components just really shine, especially in the high school esports too.
Yeah, it's a special game. It really is. It's
Lends
something
itself
that
well.
lends
You know
itself
what?
well. And
Rather than
sit here and tell you about how
rather
special
than
it
sit
is,
here and tell you about how
I'd much
special
rather
it is,
people just
I'd
have
much
to
rather
see
people
how
just have
special
to
it is. And
see
we'll get into
how
game
special
one
it is.
here. We'll
We'll
get into
Burnsville
game
up
one
against
here.
Rogersville
Rogersville
up against
you know,
Rogers, and
Typical
talk
Dorka
about 'em.
actions.
Typical
Yeah,
hype
Dorka
them a little bit.
actions.
We
Yep.
hyped them a little bit.
I'll give him
I'm
some
gonna-
love for scoring the
I'll
goal.
give him some love for
I have
scoring the
to
goal.
Be a
I
little
have
sad.
to
My man's
be a
rocking a
little
Ghost
sad.
Gaming
My man's
decal
rocking a
rather than
Ghost
the
Gaming
V1
decal
decal rather than the V1
He's letting me
decal.
down a little bit. He's
He's
hurting
letting
me
me
down
down
a
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
He's hurting my heart. He's going to have that first goal secured in the opening 10 seconds here for Burnsville. They're on the attack immediately. Dorka showing that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
For sure, yeah, Dorka, definitely one of those players that you want to watch out for, but check out that as well. Jack gonna get one of those scoring goals too for the Burnsville squad. And remember, everybody, if you couldn't tell, 2 versus 2 here, the teamwork is going to be incredibly important between the 2 people on each of these teams. And so Jack, he's able to get one into the goal there. 2-0 Burnsville here early on within the game. And you can see as well now towards the middle side of the field, a ball getting piloted by Dorka once again as he tries to get back on over towards the Rogers side.
Yeah, he's going to go for the air dribble here off the sidewall, looking for, trying to get his way through Stinger. Stinger, though, she takes care of that backboard well defended. And you're kind of talking about the, you know, in twos, that need for chemistry between the 2 players. It's not just that. Well, in this situation, you absolutely need the chemistry in Burnsville. I think Dorka may have taken my challenge to put a little pressure on him a little further than I was expecting, as they're trying to do some freestyle shots with Dorka free jumping off the ceiling. But a lot of the times in this, it's your individual ones, that individual player's ability of recognizing what's going on. Dorka going to find an open net here and secure that 3rd goal for Burnsville. Minute 7 in, and Burnsville is absolutely in control of this match.
Completely. You can see the teamwork already. Just look at the way that they opened up that goal there to allow for Dorka to get that one in. Now you start things off if you're Stinger and you try to get that demo, which is successful initially here within the kickoff. We'll see if Dorka can get this ball over towards the Rogers side. Once again, looks like it's headed there. Great bit of defense there from Rogers. We'll see if Dorka can pilot the ball on its way back. But for now, it's all about that control of the field. We'll see if Jack can maybe help Dorka to get that ball on over towards that Rogers side again. Mid-side of the field, Dorka moving that ball fast towards the backside of the wall, trying to find his way over towards that orange goal.
Yeah, one of the things to look for, though, is it really does come down to that one-on-one ability. The thing that needs to happen on the side of Rogers is they're giving a lot of space, and this is what happens when it feels like a mismatch at times. Dorka going to come through. They're continually going for these shots. Gonna be, I expect them to probably be doing this a lot. It looks like they have a few setups that they have practiced, and they will be trying to run over and over again, trying to set up some clips. But in these 1v1 situations, we've seen them kind of give a lot of space. They're expecting Dorka to do something, so the expectation is I'm going to play back, wait for Dorka to go, and I'll be back to go. Really, that you want to be there. You want to be there at the point of contact initially to try and force his hand to have to make it an easier read for your second guy back. Either bump out of play, make contact with the ball. You cannot give space to him, because once he's in the air and has control of that ball and is able to manipulate it, that's when it's going to become really problematic. And we're going to see the flip reset. He looks like he's going to get the second. Goes for the double flip reset. Well read, though. Stinger, all the patience, waiting to see if that second one came through, and read it well.
Gotta talk about air as well, and you can see it's been up there for the majority of the round right now, and, well, it looks like it might be Jack to get the next goal. He does so. 5-0 to Rogers here as we approach that half point of the game here shortly. This is looking good for Burnsville to open up the season here, and you can see Stinger tries to go for the defense, but almost only helps to get that ball in.
All right, just over halfway through game number 1 here, and Burnsville bringing the heat thus far. We'll drop off to Jack. Jack's going to have time and space, and that right there is really one of those things that teams are going to have to try and not allow to happen. These setups for these kind of freestyle-like plays that they're going for is due to the fact that there's not somebody challenging the ball sooner. You really want to make sure you try and get up there, cut those plays off early.
Yeah, for sure, and when you look at the way that they are setting things up, it is almost flawless right now. You can see that they are just quicker on the engines to get that ball in the goal. Dorka sets it up, a great hit from Jack. You can't get there in time if you're Rogers, and you get the full goal locked in there. 6-0 lead for Burnsville, starting things off strong here in the first game of the series.
This is one of those ones where you look at it and you have to say it's the first one on broadcast, opening the season, and Burnsville is coming out really just trying to put teams on notice. It's having their way, kind of doing whatever they want, and just trying to make it look effortless. Thus far, a statement, and that statement, tried to put a period on it. Couldn't quite send that one home. Dorka going to get challenged there. Supreme Weasel got there just in time, was able to cut that off. Jack, who's to spend? Up. Flip reset got. He's looking for the musty. Going to hit it. Doesn't have enough power on it, and Stinger's able to read that well. Dorka going to try and send this one through to the corner, and you can see the immediate back to center of Dorka on those rotations, making sure that they always have somebody back because they're forcing that pressure in those clears. He knows that the ball's going to come back out to mid. Go out, wait for that pressure from Jack, and then pick that ball back up. Little chip. Again, Stinger. Now, you can start seeing this. The offense is slowing down from Burnsville, and it's due to the fact that Stinger's getting out ahead and making sure they're there at the point of contact at the start of the play rather than allowing that play to develop.
Whew. Look at the control of the ball there from Jack. A little demo takes place, but now 30 seconds, just a little bit more than that left in the game here, and Dorka piloting the ball right now towards midside field. Now you get things up towards the wall, and you have that air. You can maybe line this one up for a shot. Not quite going to go in. Good defense from Rogers there, and a little bit of a missed shot from Dorka, but it's not that much to worry about because if you're Rogers, you got to get 6 goals in 12 seconds. I don't think that's going to happen, and now as we approach that last mark, it is impossible. I don't think it can happen, and it looks like it's going to be that last one here.
I mean, technically, 6 seconds, you can score a goal in 1 second, but I don't think it's going to happen 6 times in a row. And, the dagger at the end. Dorka going to put another one in. I'm going to have to talk to him about his decal choices still, though.
Yeah. But, hey, you know, one of the big things about Dorka is that he is really, really good at setting those goals up in general. I think he's the one who makes a lot of those actionable plays for the squad. He's just the main guy, I feel like, and Jack is also really, really good at communicating with Dorka to set those balls up. Great teamwork.
I'm going to say that they both probably have the setup potential there. Jack is, from watching that, Jack is no slouch at all. Coming through, making those setups, and you can tell that there are practiced freestyle attempts that they are going for. There's things that you typically don't want to do in a 2v2. You don't typically want to, if we break the field up into, like, we'll just split it down the middle and then split it 3 ways lengthwise. So we've got a row of 3 and a row of 3. You typically don't want to exist within the same square at the same time as your teammate unless you're going opposite directions because you want to cover more of the field. But Jack went up at one point with the ball ahead, immediately behind him, and they end up getting that set up and taking the setting up those freestyle shots. So there's these things where, like, those don't happen if the other person's
Yeah, for sure, and you can look at the way that Burnsville and Rogers are getting into this next one. Maybe Rogers hoping to get this one on the books here. Maybe tie the series up 1-1. We'll have to see, but I think 4.5 minutes on the clock right now, and hopefully it can be a lot of time for Rogers to get this one going. Looks like ball going to be in the top of the ring right now. Very, very close to that orange goal. We'll see if Burnsville can pilot it that way. However, Rogers quickly moving things on over towards the Burnsville side, as it looks like a bit of a clash going to happen here. And all ready for the touch is going to be Jack, setting things up as you had mentioned before, and Dorka now on the back end ready to get things going. Bit of a boost acquired here from Weasel, and we'll see if maybe he can intercept this ball. Not quite. Dorka still in control. This could be the first goal here for Burnsville if Rogers don't set this defense up carefully.
Dorka goes for the double tap off the back wall. He was just trying to set up the pass, and that will eventually fall for Jack. Good placement here. You can see the patience from Jack. That touch off of Dorka takes Stinger out of the play. Green Weasel has to get that touch, and as soon as that miss comes through, Jack's just there, ready to spring the trap and pounce. Puts a good placement underneath the bar, too. So he's still, the cool thing there, and something that you have to respect about Jack, where we're kind of talking about how Dorka is kind of that front man. Jack recognizes one player comes forward. There is this player that jumps down off the back wall who potentially could still make that save. So he opts to shoot high to put that into a hard-to-reach location. Makes it a good goal once again with the placement. Now Jack going to try and do a little freestyle. A little too much pop on that one. We'll put it off the backboard.
Yeah, for sure. Now you can see going to be hitting that front side of the orange goal right now again. And, well, so far not a whole lot of action besides that one goal for Burnsville. And we'll see if maybe they can line it up for another. But right now, ball getting close to that blue side. Dorka, though, piloting it back over to orange. Nobody here for the defense. Doesn't quite hit, though. So lucky for Rogers, they're not quite going to get that ball in their goal just yet. But now you see Supreme Weasel trying to get that thing over to the blue side. Not quite working out just yet either, but Jack and Dorka setting this one up well. Now off the mid side, it's going to be Dorka piloting the ball through the air. Great touch. It's almost going to go in. It doesn't get blocked. Great setup. Great goal from Dorka and Burnsville.
All right there, and that not the initial touch from the wall, but that first one in the air. The soft touch, the air roll. You see him let off the boost right before he makes contact with the ball to just kind of touch that, push it in the direction that he wants, and then boost right into it and just kind of pins it to the nose of his car and is able to just drive that through the air all the way in. Might have this off the ceiling shot, looking for it. Stinger, great job off of the back wall to get out there, read that one, and get ahead of it. That's a tough shot to block and a tough read. Once again, Stinger trying to stand tall here defensively for the side of Rogers, and definitely has made some alterations in the way that they're attacking this.
Oh.
Hate to see that, though. That never feels good. There's gonna be an own goal. Stinger couldn't quite get underneath this one. Those are really hard to read when it comes off of the corner of the crossbar or the post. It's kind of wild to try and make a read. A slight change in pixels can be a wildly different angle at which that ball comes off of that.
Yeah, unfortunate situation there, but hopefully Rogers can maybe find the rebound here pretty soon, but Dorka just barely getting it in. Great job out of Burnsville to continue the streak of goals here. You can see the way that Stinger tries to go for that one, but kind of just misses the ball, and his teammate goes right in as well. No dice, though. It's going to be a great goal from Dorka again. He's looking real good in this matchup, and now off the initial touch, it's going to head on over towards the blue side right now. Supreme Weasel trying to line it up. Not going to result in anything towards the goal, though. Still over towards the blue side, though. We'll see what Burnsville can do on the defense. Maybe Rogers can set this one up for a goal.
Dorka looking to try and freestyle his way downfield once again. Was looking for that tough angle off of the back wall just outside the post. Swinging a miss there from Weasel, and it looks like they're going to go for another sidewall play. Jack going to look for the carry this time. Just short of the ceiling. Has the flip reset again. Looking for that musty time and time again is Jack. He hasn't quite been able to shoot a shot off of it yet. Dorka going to clean that one up. We're up to a 5-0 lead here once again for Burnsville.
Yeah, it's looking like a repeat of the first game again. You can see Dorka continuing to set these goals up so well. But it's time to give a little love to Jack as well, right? As you mentioned before, he's doing a great job here as a teammate to Dorka as well. They are both looking spot on with communication. This could be another free goal. It is! Jack gonna get that one just as we were gassing him up a little bit. Now 6-0 lead for Burnsville over Rogers. What can you do if you're Rogers? You have to get 6 goals in a minute here. This is not an easy task whatsoever, Supersonic.
This is one of those ones where it's obviously there is a mismatch in terms of the level here. Like Dorka is an extremely high level player, so is Jack. For Rogers on this side, it's one of those ones where this is something that you can go back, you can look at, see what they're doing. This is a high level team that you're playing against. You're going to be able to have decent bod to go back and figure out what kind of changes can you make. The main thing though is you got the tough one out of the way early in the season, right?
Yeah.
You got them week 1. That's a tough week 1 matchup, but I'd much rather have that than rather than maybe have a few wins back to back and then have to run into this team and get a mental reset in the middle of the season. So Burnsville just gonna kind of go off here again. Jack showing off some of the mechanics. Flip reset from him. I mean, you've got 2 players playing at. These are not easy mechanics. These flip resets, the shots that they're going for, are very high level mechanics. I would expect Burnsville so far. This is my first MNVL series casting. Haven't seen all the other teams, but I would probably say Burnsville is up there in the running, probably the favorite to take down the season.
I mean, that's a bold claim early on, right? But I think you are totally right. I think these guys can totally rise to the top, and by the way that they are looking, look at that flip reset and then the goal from Jack there. That is how you line things up to an 8-0 lead. 12 seconds left in the game, and Burnsville are going to take this one away. Amazing teamwork again out of Burnsville. And as we set up for the last 12 seconds here, we'll see if they can find yet another one.
I mean, we watched them at the 0-second go for it before. You know they're going to go for it. He's doing the setup now, going to grab that boost and try and go for a full field carry. No, they're going to look for the freestyle. Jack has the flip reset. Not the flip reset. Goes to the ceiling, gets his flip back and falls, but uses it before waiting for Dorka to send him the ball. So a little head of schedule there for that play to try and close it out, but 2-0 lead here for Burnsville as they come through to start things off, and they are looking very good.
Yeah, they are looking like the top, as you said, and these guys probably a 3-0 win. That's definitely a dent on the standings here. That is definitely in their favor in the season, and you would expect it to continue. I think you could see them really, really start to propel themselves to that number 1 spot, just like you were saying. And with 2v2, that's kind of an interesting dynamic I want to talk about with you, Supersonic. As somebody who really, really pays attention to Rocket League, I want to ask you, how does 2v2 kind of change the dynamic of a game, and what does that imply kind of moving forward into a full?
One of the things that's going to happen in threes, right? Like we'll just take this matchup here that's going on. Dorka going up in the air, he's immediately going to be challenged in 3v3. There's always going to be somebody that challenges them, and if that player misses, you then have a second man that is waiting to see where it goes, and then you've always got the safety net in the back. If you're playing your rotation right and you've got your setup, that man's going to be back. There's always somebody extra back there covering the plays. So 2v2 opens up a ton more field real estate. Little mistakes become major mistakes in 2v2, where maybe in threes you have a little bit more. You can get away with a little bit more. You can risk things more often. In 2v2, you really need to make sure that you're winning those 1v1 battles as often as possible.
Yeah, for sure. That makes complete sense. And, you can also see, like, the gaps are so much more open, of course. Like, just how you were saying, you don't have that safety net. So you got to be on your game the entirety of the time. And, well, as we get into this next game, it's going to be all up to Rogers right now to pull off what seems impossible. One of the most unbelievable reverse sweeps I would see, but I don't think it'll happen. I think this is going to be another steamroll from Burnsville. And look at that, though. As I say that, I think Rogers gets their second goal of the series right there. Great lineup there from Stinger. Not going to get blocked by Dorka in time. You get that first goal on the board here. Hey, that's a good start at least.
Yeah, I think that might have been Jack that went up for it. And off by pixels, right? It looked like it may have skimmed the front end of his front bumper there, just not quite enough, and it falls right in. That one almost falls in as Jack tries to put one in off the backboard on a tight angle from the ceiling. Now Dorka going to try and carry this one through, has the flip, and again, well read. Stinger sitting there waiting for that shot, knowing now, getting more comfortable, seeing them go for these shots over and over again. Of course, they're going to find their way through. I think we expected at this point that Burnsville is going to find those openings. They're going to create these opportunities. But I am impressed on the side for Rogers in some of these saves, some of these reads on the plays that we weren't seeing them make in game number 1. They're getting to these points where they're at least in the right spot. They're making a few of these saves. There is improvement through and through, where a lot of the times when matches like this, it's very easy mentally to just kind of check yourself out of a game and just go, yeah, you know, it's over. Rogers here playing, showing that they have the wherewithal or the mental fortitude to stay in and see what they can do. What can I improve on? What changes can I make through the series? And that impresses me. I love seeing that out of teams, the grit and determination.
For sure, and I mean, in multiple ways, they are being taught a lesson this game, right? Not only in the domination of Burnsville, but also in the lesson of adaptation. Can you adapt to the plays that Burnsville is making? Can you learn what they are doing and do it yourselves? And it seems like they're already starting to maybe pick up on a little bit of that. However, Burnsville still up 2-1 right now, but Jack gets another goal, make that 3-1. Great job from Burnsville to continue the rampage that they're on. But Rogers, as I said, trying to do things a little bit better here, trying to set things up. You can see right there, Stinger almost got that deflect right there on the goal. And so those are just some of the few examples, honestly, of that kind of improvisation and that adaptation that they're having.
I think one of the things, too, right now, one of the things that Burnsville's absolutely abusing is the wider rotations that Rogers goes for. A lot of teams, when you're kind of figuring these things out, people kind of, there's this addiction, this need that you feel to go for the corner in the mid boost, the 100 boost, the big ones. While doing that in threes, you still don't want to be doing that unless you need to. You want to work the pads in the middle of the field. If you're doing that inside of a 2v2 scenario and you're both doing wide rotations looking for those outside boosts, the middle of the field is just open. And it allows Burnsville to just kind of say, you know, I don't have to grab a corner boost. I don't need that. I'm just going to pick up these pads, rotate around in the middle of the field, and that's just going to give me free shots down mid or options to pop the ball up and do some of these plays they have. And if not challenged, then you see them go for the sidewall. Then you see them go pick up those 100 boosts and do the little flashier plays. Orca not going to be able to get there in time, but again, back pass there, no. Sorry, Jack, get away. This is Dorka's game. It's his world. You're just allowed to exist within it. And he comes through once again, puts the 6th one on the board. Jack got out of the way. He's like, yeah, you know what? I got Dorka on my team. I might as well just let him go do his thing.
Right from under, he gets the goal. Dorka continuing to be one of the very, very best within the game here in MNVL. And now as we kick things off again, and as we look at the scoreboard, 6-1 right now is your scoreline, and it's looking like how it did before. But hey, right there, great shot from Rogers onto that Burnsville goal. Not going to result in a kill or in a goal right there, but Burnsville just trying to stay consistent, keep getting some of those goals. And it seems like right now, if you look at Dorka and you look at kind of some of those stats down there in the bottom left, shots on goal 6. This guy goes for every opportunity that he can. And you can also see as well some of those assists as well from Jack too, and the shots, 6 as well. So both doing a great job of making sure to take as many shots as they can on that goal, because as they said, I can't remember who said this one, but you miss all the shots you don't take.
Yeah, you will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That is
exactly. That's the quote.
That is a very accurate quote. It can be applied to just about everything in life. If you don't take the chance, it's definitely not going to come true. And well, there's a lot of chances and opportunity here for Burnsville as they have taken. I'm just going to call it a bajillion. I'm not going to do the math. Casters should never do math, so we're just going to make up numbers. Yeah. Dorka, crossbody, can't slow down enough to get that one on net. They've held them off and held them at bay to 6 goals for a while, which is nice because I haven't had to see Dorka type in the chat.
Well, exactly, but you can see Burnsville as well looking to close this one out right here. 30 seconds left, as you can see, and Rogers only 1 to their name. Give that another 1 to Burnsville. 7-1 right now is your score line, and yeah, as you said, great fake right there. Goes for the goal. Stinger can't get there in time, and it's another great goal from Jack. Great way to continue the game here. Looks like we're going to be on the finale right now.
Get out of my chat, Dorka. Get back into your game. It's typing during a match. 7-1 though. The Brazil on there. Oh, almost able to put the second one in. I would have loved to see that, just to deny Burnsville finishing with a 7-1. Dorka might try and put this one through, or is he just going to let it end with the 7-1? That's the question. He's going to let it end. I had a... Oh, no.
Ooh, he
Jack
might not.
Wants it.
Oh,
Jack
he wants it. He wants the finale. He wants the victory lap. Can he get it in? Nope. Bummer.
Close. You know, I was almost kind of hoping that it would go in just so it didn't have to end with the 7-1 on the screen, but that Brazil scoreline does close it out. That's our first series of the day, and you know, Burnsville, as I said in the middle of that series, coming through, really making sure Mnvl as a whole knows, hey, we're here, and we're gonna do some nasty plays on you guys, putting everybody on notice.
Yeah, they want to make sure they know that he's the boss. That's his entire goal. They want to make sure that Burnsville is the boss, and I think this is a great way to start things off here in the season for Burnsville. And if you're Rogers, you got to go back to the drawing board, realize you played a tough first match, and learn everything you can from the scholarly Dorka and Jack. But everybody, as we round out that first game, it's going to be time to go into the next one here very shortly, because when we come back, we've got a great one ahead of us. We got St. John's Prep versus Irondale Dark Knights. It's time to go there here very shortly, but first, a quick break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Minnesota Varsity League Twitch channel. My name is Epiphany. I'm joined by my special guest, Supersonic, today, here to watch some amazing Rocket League action here for Minnesota High School esports. And I gotta tell you, we had a great first game there. It was a blowout. Rogers not quite able to defeat Burnsville in that one, but now we move on over towards the next one. We've got a great game here, St. John's Prep versus Irondale Knights. This is going to be a good one, and I want to hear kind of your reflection of that last game, Supersonic, and what you might want to see going into this next one.
Well, it's what I want to see is I want to see a little bit closer, evenly matched. See that series come through. I mean, obviously, we saw Dorka is an extremely high-level player.
Mm-hmm.
Jack is too. That is a team that I'm expecting to probably cause a lot of problems for the majority of the field here in the Mnvl. I want to see where these other teams are, right? Where they're coming from, the developing players, what that play looks like, kind of get a better feel with this being my first season in the Mnvl. It's kind of hard for me to say what it is that I specifically want to see, as I don't have a base level like where are we at, what's going on. But I'd like to see some of these teams coming through. I'd like to see a little bit some more team play, and I'm just kind of here hanging out, hoping we get some good Rocket League in this next series.
For sure, yeah. I think we're going to get some good Rocket League. We're always in store for some good Rocket League here. And, well, this next one's going to definitely be interesting because I personally have not seen either of these teams play before. And so we're kind of in the same boat here, aren't we? Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how things go, I guess. But, yeah, kind of looking back on that last match, I thought it was just great teamwork out of the Burnsville squad. And with the 2v2 again, very different in some ways, very similar in some ways from 3v3, and I think this is a big thing to think about as well. And in general, Burnsville, they're kind of the role model, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what you're striving to be, right?
Yeah.
At least thus far, that's the mark. That the bar is set. We know where it's at. We found out in the first series of the season. We know where that bar is set. I want to talk about that other side, though, right? On the other side, Game 1 though the score lines were similar, if we watch the progression of Stinger and of Weasel, they were coming through. They were making plays that weren't happening before. We started seeing moments where one of them covered net, one of them started covering backboard, certain basic things that weren't occurring in the first game, and they started communicating. Now, the mechanics aren't quite there, so it's a little bit harder for them to execute, but I bet if we asked Dorka, seriously, he probably wasn't challenged very often at all in the air where it was any kind of threatening challenge to like block his shots in game 1. If the shot was missed, it was probably because he missed the shot. In the later ones, though, Stinger was doing a good job of at least getting there and trying to challenge and break up the play, at least make them have to think about where the placement of that shot's going to go, not just giving the free net. So I liked seeing the progression on the other side. And that, again, a testament to the mental fortitude, because it is very easy when you go up against like anybody that's played Rocket League that's loaded in and ran into like a Smurf team can tell you it is disheartening and it will take the wind out of your sails immediately. It is tough to want to play. That's when the vote forfeit comes through. They stayed in it and looked for ways that they could improve the entire time through that series. So I want to give a lot of credit to them. We talked a whole ton about Dorka. His name has been said enough. This side of the field, I'm interested to see how they can improve over the season because I see the grit there and the want to improve on that other team.
Yeah, for sure. You could just press surrender, but these guys decided to stay. They decided to learn. We could see it a little bit in that last match, right? They were adapting and they were becoming better at what they know how to do, and then they were learning some new things from Burnsville, and I think that's the really important thing here is that you start the season off with a hard match, and I feel like if you're going to take an L at the beginning of the season is the best time to do that because it's easier to learn. You can adapt a lot quicker and you can try to round things out strong. So Rogers, I do feel more optimistic for them going forward as long as they take what they learned from this match and use it moving forward in their future matches as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I see in the chat, and I don't know if that's I don't think Flow would lie to me. So, the sponsor this season, V1, I'm a little biased in the V1 world, but shout out to them. They made their way through NRG and will be going to grand finals representing Minnesota here in the RLCS, so shout outs to them. Just a little bit of love for the guys. But we're into the next series here. St. John's Prep up against the Dark Knights. We'll see how things start off, and that's a great play right off the bat here from Olympus. As the 1v1, recognizes the situation, puts it off this backboard, and forces a shot, or puts the shot out into the middle. Dexter with the pass, out to Olympus over that defender in blue who was trying to make the play to the corner and secure that corner boost. That opens up the net and the first goal here for the side of the Dark Knights.
Yes, shout out to V1 indeed, and like you said, a great first goal from the Dark Knights here on this first game of the series, and whoa, a demo comes through. Olympus gonna get taken down there real quickly, back up again, but it is going to be St. John's Prep trying to get this one over towards the red side. They're getting it over quick too. Can you rebound though? It's a great flick, exactly, and now into the blue goal it goes. Olympus, that's his second one already on the game.
Yeah, as soon as that second player comes forward in there with Bitster coming forward, puts him out of position. As soon as that flick goes through, that's an open field down the middle. You got to get that second man back in rotation. Make sure that second man has the time to get back before you decide to commit. And especially seeing that off the bat. I mean, obviously it's not what we were watching Dorka do, but Olympus showing some ability in the air, setting up a pass now down. Dexter there waiting for it. So some good team play here for the Dark Knights as they're looking to start off strong. 3-0 already in the opening minute. Trying to open this scoreline up to a massive difference right off the bat.
Yeah, 3-0, as you said, on the first minute, that's definitely a show of dominance, just like with the last game. But we'll see if St. John's Prep can kick it into full gear here, maybe put in the nitro a little bit. We'll see if they can get this one tied up 3-3. Still lots of time to do that, and I also gotta say, Blue Spirit, what an awesome car. I love that decal right there, but anyways, now as we move on over towards the blue side of the field, St. John's Prep, you gotta block that goal. Nobody's there to take care of it. Dexter Maximus gonna get that next goal for the Dark Knights, 4-0 up.
Yeah, Dexter recognizes that player is coming forward to try and commit forward for a to come make a play on the ball, but due to the difference in distance from that ball, understands they're able to get that pop up, going to have possession through the air, has the boost to do it. That's one of those ideal situations for somebody. When that ball's rolling towards you and you've got that much boost to spend with that kind of space, that's a juicy moment. You got to take those opportunities when they're there. Blue up early, but blocked out by Dexter now. Olympus going to look to try and make the play. Blue can't get a piece, and that'll open the way. 5-0 now for the Dark Knights.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5-0 lead right now, and I got to tell you, that is one that is hard to come back from. But if they could do it in the first 2.5 minutes, or I guess 1.5 minutes, then St. John's Prep, you can do it as well. We'll see if they can, though. It's going to be a difficult task, easier said than done. Well, especially when Olympus is scoring goals like that.
Yeah, this kickoff, as soon as that goes wrong, and Eddie Bitster's going over there trying to play into that corner for the boost, that just completely opens it up. Want to either, if you're coming forward, you want to hang out and see what happens on that kickoff so that you're there to defend, or immediately you want to go for that boost off those kickoffs. Go out, try and grab that corner boost, and that way you have the boost to also spend. You can kind of flip your way over to the boost, immediately hard turn back towards net and expend that boost, and that'll put you back in position majority of the time for that ball in case a shot does come on net. Olympus going to try and use a couple mechanics there. Couldn't quite get underneath the ball, but it will fall through and going to go ahead and just back pass it out rather than take the shot there.
Yeah, it's going to
decision.
It's going to head on over towards that orange side. Now back to midfield we go. Dexter trying to pilot the ball over towards the blue side of the arena right now, as it seems like it's a close goal, and Dark Knights yet another one to add to the tally. Eddie Bitster tries to intercept that ball, but not able to do so. Dexter from the top side, great setup, able to get that ball in, and 2 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock here, and St. John's Prep, you've got a lot of work cut out for you right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one to battle back from. This is one of those ones where you kind of, the phrase comes through, it's chalked, but now, you know what you got to do with that chalk? Hit the drawing board, see what you can do, figure something out, find a way through, use this moment. Every minute, every second in the game, even if it's a blowout like this, is an opportunity to try and learn something new, find a way through, try things that you don't normally go for, make attempts at things, because this is basically just free time against your opponent to try and figure some things out.
For sure, and you can see as well, it is going to be that midfield side, now over towards the blue side that Olympus tries to go once again into the corner of the goal, able to find it. And that is just another example of how Olympus and Dark Knights are just quicker. But Itty Bitster, you see he touches it, tries to get that ball out, but the angle's not right. Almost helps him to get it in. Unfortunate setup there, and a bit of just not good timing there on the defense. And now as Olympus tries to get yet another one, it's another open blue goal right now.
Coming back through. That's actually a good clear downfield, but Olympus, again, immediate recovery there. I would guess, just kind of watching, that I would probably place Olympus somewhere in the GC ranks. Probably somewhere in like the GC1, maybe just under GC2. You can see kind of the immediate, some of the things that they go for in terms of a fake challenge, where they drive forward to see if that player is going to make contact with the ball and then make a decision last second and swing that momentum back towards their end so they're able to get back and make saves. Because typically that touch from blue went past both players on the side of Dark Knights, which kind of opens up that net in the backfield, but it's due to that recovery and the understanding of what's occurring and how fast Olympus gets back that they're able to get away with playing forward a bit more, a little bit more aggressive. They understand that they've got a bit more speed to them than the side of the St. John's Prep, and it allows them to, get away with a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, that speed is a big component. You can see Olympus is, like, literally off the walls a lot, I feel like. He is always trying to pilot the situation of the arena. You can see him trying to do that again towards the mid side, trying to get that touch on the ball. Dexter as well doing a great job of helping his teammate out. 30 seconds left on the clock, and it seems like this one is drifting away in the wind here for St. John's Prep. 18 seconds left. Not much you can do. You could even try to get another one here. Maybe if you set it up correctly. Olympus, great hit. 10 seconds. Can you get the victory lap? Open goal right now. You can try to pilot it in, and it seems like it will. Just round it out to a 9-0 lead here. We're going to go into the 3 seconds on the next round here, but it really won't matter for St. John's Prep. You can't do anything about it. Dark Knights, they're going to be taking this first one away.
Yeah, the runaway here, really, it has been, very similar to the side of what we saw in Burnsville, and the individual play just kind of opening their way through, creating opportunities time and time again, and this one will finally touch down. Irondale will take down game number one in this best of 5 series. But again, we're seeing again, we're in a bit of a mismatch, but we're seeing teams, like, as this goes on, these teams start playing each other. Week 1 is going to be rough for teams as this kind of sorts out until you get up against a squad kind of at the same level. Dark Knight showing that maybe they're one of those teams that can go in and try and play and give a little bit of a challenge over to the side of Burnsville. We'll see if whenever we get to that week, and I haven't seen the schedule, so I don't know when that will occur, but when it does, that'll probably be one of those ones that you want to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's where you get really curious, right? Like Dark Knights versus Burnsville, how is that going to go? And they played 2 different teams, so what's like the skill differential of those 2 teams to kind of gauge like what your prediction might be? Whole lot of things you can do, but regardless, I feel like that's a great opener, of course, for Dark Knights. They're able to get that 9-0 win, which is unbelievably impressive. And as we head into this next one, it seems like they're only going to probably continue the slaughter here.
I don't want to use words as tough as that. It's hard not to. It is a brutal game out there. Dark Knights are not playing nice at all. They're out there. It looks like they're trying to put as many goals on the board as they absolutely can. 9-0 start game 1, and looking for the opportunity again right here, and ends up forcing the own goal in. It's one of those ones where you're not used to having to read these types of shots, and these are those moments where you're gonna get to learn a little bit. Unfortunately, there's gonna be some tough lessons here. St. John's Prep gonna end up own goaling there and give Dark Knights the first goal 8 seconds in.
Yeah, that's just another example of a great setup there by Dark Knights to the point where you kind of make that unpredictable shot, like you said, making it so that St. John's Prep scores their own goal. But now, on over towards the orange side is going to be the ball, but the defense is there. Dexter able to block that one in the nick of time. That's gotta hurt if you're St. John's Prep for sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely one of those ones that you're watching it go and you're like, yes, and it's very easy to celebrate early, but the ball traveling at that speed, at that level, Dexter able to get underneath it and make the heads-up play, pop that one up towards the backboard and makes the save. Shot was kind of towards net there. Blue is able to get out ahead of it and make Dexter jump, and ends up just being a ball that rolls by. Again, though, Olympus, the recoveries back and forth really being one of the key differences. I mean, outside of the aerial play, those recoveries, how quick they get back into the play after a miss or after a touch can catch people off guard when they're not used to playing somebody like that. And it's definitely something that Dark Knights are abusing right now in this series here against St. John's Prep.
For sure, and you look at the way that they're playing overall in general, right? Just the teamwork and the aerial play as well. I feel like I see Olympus in the air almost all the time. He does a great job of making sure that ball is not on the ground as much as possible. You can see it right here, trying to get that blue score, not quite the angle to get it in, as now it hits back towards midfield, but it's getting set up once more. Itty Bitster with the hit right there, but now Olympus piloting the ball alongside Dexter Maximus in control right now, trying to get this one over towards the blue side, and what a beautiful, beautiful goal that was.
Okay, Dexter. All right,
Look
we
at
know
the twist.
You thread the needle, you come down, make use of that drift key, pop it up, and just kind of style on the goal. We get it. You got some mechanics.
Flexing a little bit.
Kickoff goal? No, not quite. Itty Bister didn't feel comfortable trying to go for a wave dash or a flip to try and get out to the edge of that ball. I think the opportunity was there, but unable to execute on it, opted to go for boost. Blue going to try and shoot one down the mid to get it around Olympus, but could not. Boost to spin. Misses the touch, and that one will fall, but missed by the side of St. John's Prep. Popped in the middle. Odd touch from Dexter, and Olympus can't get around it, so he opts to just take it to the corner, and is going to try and make another play here. Flip reset. Can't utilize it, and that one will fall into the corner.
Yep, falls into the corner, but a demo will take place. Olympus going to get taken down, opens up the field for St. John's Prep. There's another one. Cars are flying all over the place right now, and now it's going to be at midfield where the ball is. Maybe Blue Spear can get something going over towards the orange goal, but Olympus with a great defensive block, able to get that one back into his control and pilot it very, very quickly towards the middle of the map. Another demo for Olympus. He is falling just constantly, but it doesn't really matter because the teamwork is there from Dexter as well. You can see that Olympus doing a great job as well, making sure this ball stays on over towards the blue side of the arena.
Blue now has an opportunity, but a little too much pep on the ball, ends up shooting it away. And again, another one going to get wide of Olympus, trying to speed downfield and can't quite keep possession over the ball. Good bump. That's the type of stuff that you want to start looking for. Get there early, don't allow a free touch on the ball, and be chippy. Again, that one going to be just off the mark, but because of that bump on the play, I'm not going to get the ball. I'm at least going to try and take the player. It's worked twice in a row to stop goals from coming through. It's not necessarily going to make the difference to where I think that it's going to win the series for them, but it's going to slow that down. It's going to stem the bleed. Those are the types of plays that you need to try and slow teams like this down. Gets the touch, not enough to get the shot off the mark, though, and that will be the third here for Dark Knights. Only 3 in 4 minutes. That is a massive improvement on the number of shots that you allowed through from game 1, so definitely a shift here for the side of St. John's Prep. They got to find a way, though, to secure themselves a goal on the other end.
Yeah, it's not quite as much of a showing by the Dark Knights as before, but it's still serviceable for sure. Not even serviceable, it's good. You don't have a single goal on the side of St. John's Prep, and, well, there's another one for Dark Knights. It's a 4-0 lead right now as we approach the 48 seconds mark here and it's going to end up being those last few seconds that really, really matter for a squad like St. John's Prep if they want to try to make a comeback here in this game. Dark Knights, they are showing out though, and already on the blue side is the ball. We'll see how they decide to set it up.
Visitor has the first pop at Olympus there immediately to try and break up the play, and the second man comes through on the side of St. John Prep. Got to get back on defense. Both actually recover well. I would have expected St. John's Prep to be out of the play a little bit longer. Both of them actually made it back in time before a shot could come through for the Dark Knights. This one, though, will not be back in time. They will get punished on the round as it comes back through. The Dark Knights secure their fifth.
Yep, it's going to be the fifth one here, and now we start to see some of that dominance return, and 5-0 lead going into the last 22 seconds. Again, this is one where I just don't think it's possible for St. John's Prep to make a comeback in this specific game, but at least you've got one more left in the series where you can maybe try to pull off a reverse sweep. However unlikely it may seem, but Dark Knights, great job here in this first game, and Supersonic, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on why they're being so dominant here and what might be some of the reasons.
I mean, it's absolutely a mechanical skill difference. It's a play level. It's a play level. There's a higher level understanding in mechanical skill on the side of the Dark Knights. It's very similar to what we kind of saw in the first game. Not quite the same extent of mechanic usage that we saw out of Dorka and Jack. We're not watching the Dark Knights try and pre-jump freestyle poster clips on people. But the individual play ability for aerials, recoveries, etc., to just get back into the play and make sure that they're always in the right spot. It's a positioning thing, and that's something that just comes with time and playing against people at higher levels. So again, it's one of those ones where I'm seeing improvements. Again, this is a very similar to that first series that we watched, St. John's Prep. We set the scoreline 5-0 instead of 9, which was almost double digits in the first one. A lot of change up on the side of St. John's Prep.
Yeah, I mean, it really has, and you can see as well the way that Dark Knights are playing is really, really dominant, and they've maintained that, but St. John's Prep is starting to just make a few of those moves, as you were saying, that show a bit of this adaptation and improvement, and that's what it's all about here in a tough first game of the season. And well, Dark Knights now trying to find their way over towards their first goal of this possibly last game of the best of 5 here, as now midfield's where it's at, trying to get this thing on over towards the blue side. However, right now, it's all about setting it up with your teammate, getting it over the heads of some of those St. John's Prep players, and Olympus, he's already got control over towards the goal right now.
Yeah, it seems like there has been a discussion between Olympus and his teammate, and it looks like they've intentionally not scored a couple goals thus far, and they've left Dexter in net, not moving, and it seems that they're just allowing Olympus to try and play keep away.
Interesting strategy.
Which, I don't love it. But I don't want to fall in front of net. Eddie Bitster will have the touch, and Olympus going to cut through and just back pass it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those situations, right, where, as you were saying before, you don't really like this play, and I kind of agree, you're not really playing that offensive a whole lot, and you're just saying, no matter what, we're not going to let St. John's Prep score, which I guess is an effective strategy here, and Olympus, he possibly could 1v2 over towards the blue side of the field. I think that is a very, very possible situation here. A nice demo comes through. This could be that opening. He starts to run it down a little bit, but the respawns are going to come through, and here's the interception towards mid-side. But yeah, overall, I mean, Supersonic, elaborate a little bit on this strategy and kind of what your thoughts are on it and why.
I mean, my thoughts are right there. Olympus could have easily scored that and didn't. So to me, it's just one of those. I don't like it because to me, it feels like the team is just trying to play in the sense of like, I am just trying to dishearten you. We're gonna 1v2 you and just not allow you to touch the ball. And it's one of those. It's not respectful to the team you're playing against. It's just I don't like it from a sportsmanship side.
I see what you're saying.
That's just a personal thing. There's going to be people that feel differently about that. That's just my overall viewpoint on it. I respect the skill. I don't like it when you play that way against a team.
I mean, fair enough. I feel like you are going to have to score at some point here, though. If Olympus is taking this 1v2, he's got to start getting this ball down towards the blue side of the field, and looks like he does that there temporarily. Moving back on over to orange, he has a possible opening here to get this over towards the goal here very quickly. It's going to be another touch here out of St. John's Prep, and it's almost lined up entirely here for Olympus. Doesn't quite get it that time around. Could get it here very shortly, though. Just piloting this ball towards this blue side, not really taking action on a goal just yet. Nice little carry there, and it seems like right now it's going to be the orange side right now in trouble, actually, as it moves back on over. Olympus, though, another great defensive block.
I would expect here as we get into this final minute, this is probably where Olympus is going to come through and probably score the goal to make sure that it doesn't go into overtime. The other side of this can be they just don't want to score because as the scorelines balloon, the series goes on. Yeah, they are going to eventually shoot it. As the scoreline balloons, it increases the length of game time. It can also just be like they're trying to have the series end sooner. Could also be the reason behind the way that they're approaching this game.
For sure. Lots of reasons, possibly, but that goal is done now, and likely it is going to be just pure... Whoa! Okay, Eddie Bitster, able to get that first one off the bat there.
All right.
Definitely a bold play that works for sure, and you're able to get it over the heads of the Dark Knights, and now we have a little bit of a tense situation for the Dark Knights now here in the last minute. We'll see if they can get another goal and then play that defense is what I'm guessing will happen. But on over towards the orange side goes the ball. Olympus now trying to pilot this one over towards the blue goal here. Eddie Witster with the block. It is going to be Olympus taking control, though, here of the ball as it moves on over towards that blue side here very shortly, I would suspect.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and try and secure a little bit of boost.
Yep.
It's not there. Pivot back. He's looking to try and do something here to finish the end of this game. So Olympus up, flip reset there, has that touch, and well read though by Blue to slow that play down. She gets out and makes a touch. Just realized the boost that she's using as well, which is one of my favorite ones. I think that's the Voltron boost from had to have been a year ago, maybe two. It came through. It's one of the more colorful boosts in the game, and I actually like that boost quite a bit. That one going to fly across the net, and in the end, Dark Knight's trying to, if it was the strategy to basically shorten the series or shorten the game by just allowing the clock to run the whole time, that has fallen and not worked, because we are now in an overtime situation because they allowed a goal through, so...
Yeah.
Off the demo. Gonna miss, and we'll have an opportunity here for the side of St. John's Prep.
Yeah, opportunities definitely laid out in front of them, but Dark Knights right now trying to close this one out, and yeah, as you said, Blue Spear, I love her car, super cool, but St. John's Prep right now still struggling when it comes to the goals department, but Dark Knights as well, you could look at them equally. Olympus over towards the blue side right now trying to find this goal as he pilots this ball over towards the mid side, possibly a great set of aerials right there. It is going to get intercepted here, though. It looks like St. John's Prep, they could try to get this goal going right here. Great bump, yep. And now back and over towards the blue side is where the ball will go, and there it goes in. It's going to be Dark Knights winning this one right there.
I want to come to an end, much like the first game of the day, or the first series of the day. This one will end 3-0 as the Irondale Dark Knights take it down in a dominant fashion. Again, showing off those mechanics, etc., through games 1 and 2. Not sure what the decision-making was for the game plan in Game 3. That's one of those ones that could be a multitude of things. I do not have that level of analysis. I am not directly linked into their brain, so I can't hear their comms, don't know what's going on over there. But in the end, Dark Knights up 3-0 over St. John's Prep to kick off their season.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to start things out, of course. A 3-0 over St. John's Prep. And as you said, a match I would love to see is Burnsville versus Dark Knights. I think that'd be super interesting. But, Supersonic, as you were kind of looking at some of the plays there, I'm curious, really, what do you think is the number one thing that Dark Knights are doing to put themselves in that position to win so consistently?
Right there again, it very similar to the first series of the day. It's the mismatch in
Hmm.
mechanics, the
Hmm.
mismatch in the ability to recover. Those basic fundamentals are at a level that St. John's Prep isn't at yet. Um, but again, game two, we saw improvements out of St. John's Prep, better reads, kind of similar to the first game. Um, it became hard for them to really do anything when the play is no longer, the intent isn't to put the ball in the net, which is not something you're going to run into typically. Like that game three. If I'm St. John's Prep and I'm going back and looking at this and I'm doing a VOD review, I'm not looking at game three at all. Game three doesn't
Hmm.
matter. That VOD is worthless. That's not something you're going to watch. You don't. There's nothing there that you're going to gain from that. You go back and you look at game one to game two because Dark Knights played them fairly similarly. St. John's Prep had a little bit better performance in that second game. What did you change? What worked well? And what were they doing to catch you off guard? How are they recovering? Look at those basic fundamentals that they're executing on. It's the things when you go up, you make the touch to pass the ball mid. A lot of players get up, they make the touch, and then they wait and they watch for their teammate to see if that ball goes in. I guarantee you, the Dark Knight goes up, he passes the ball mid. If the play's there, his focus is already switched. His camera has gone into free cam instead of ball cam. He's no longer looking at the play. He's recovering, hitting the ground, and getting back to where he knows he needs to be to stay in that play. And it's those things that are going to put you in the right position time and time again that you've really got to get in and kind of ingrain and just get in the habit of doing.
For sure. Great analysis and great game so far. It's been two blowouts today, and hopefully we can get another one, maybe, or we can actually. I would love a good competitive game for this last one. I don't know about you, Supersonic, but we'll see if that's on the docket here after we come back from a very, very short break. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Minnesota Varsity League. My name is Epiphany, and today I've been joined by Supersonic, and thank you, everybody, for sticking around for this last great game of the day. We've got the Eagan Wildcats going up against St. Louis Park for our final match of the day of the first week here for Rocket League of the fall season. It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. We've had 2 blowouts today, Supersonic, but maybe we'll get something else. Maybe we'll get a more competitive match right now. We'll have to see. I think it's going to be a good one. I just have that feeling.
It's there's something in the air. Maybe that's just that my heater's running and I'm starting to sweat. I don't know what it is, but there's something in the air that feels a little different than those first 2. And I'm hoping that what you're saying is true. Hopefully, this is going to be a battle back and forth between these 2 teams. Maybe we can even get a game 5. Maybe we could do, what I have come to learn after moving here is not just the Minnesota traditional sports way, but the just the Minnesotan competitive way, period, which is to go to game 5 or the end of it and go to overtime.
Right.
Overtime matches. It seems to go down to the line. I went to my first Timberwolves game the other night after we went to overtimes all day with version 1. Go to the Timberwolves game and it goes to overtime. And I was just like, man, overtime all day. I wouldn't mind seeing that. We got 2 3-0s. Give me that. I feel like I'm not getting the Minnesotan experience here, and I need a game 5 OT.
Yeah, honestly, the Minnesotan experience, right? You see it in like across every esport and sport here. It's always that. But talk about Minnesota as well. One of the key organizations here in the esports community is VERSION1. He's got it on the shirt right there. I've got it in the form of the rocker shirt here. VERSION1 is he's got the cup too. Nice.
New collectibles from the watch parties, by the way. First one, right. First 50 people yesterday got this. It's the Dominus. Please collect them all. We'll be running these and having cups again at the watch party in the second split, in the third, and collect all 3. Got to catch them all.
Got to catch them all. But yeah, shout out VERSION1. They're the ones who are able to provide a free experience for the high school students here and who support making our broadcast possible up there in the top corner. Will this go the right direction? No, other way.
It's the opposite. You got to do,
got to do the opposite. It's not mirrored.
We have a Duke from Bush's Beans for V1 that sits in the background of our broadcast, and it always takes me a second because I try and like fake pat him on the head, and it's always like this. I got it.
Yeah.
Ton of fun, but yeah, a lot of love to V1 and supporting it and getting for Mnvl for all these guys at the high schools to play. And we're into game 1 here. Eagan going to be with possession of the ball, coming back into their half, and a battle in the corner for possession will go the way of Jazz.
Yep, looks like it's going to, and you can see as well, it's a great start over towards the orange side right now, as you were just talking about possession, but look at defense as well. SLP Omega doing a great job of making sure to keep that one away, and yeah, look at the decal. Talk about VERSION1. We've got a decal on the side of Eagan, but Jazz, he's able to get that first one early on here within the game. Great way to start the series.
You already see a little bit closer skill level here just in terms of the speed already. Really, you can kind of spot a lot of the differences or a level in the players in their ability to track the play and stay with the play. And immediately, somebody up to challenge, right? That's one of those ones where Jazz goes up, Clipsy jumps, and at least makes you respect the fact that he's up, and now you can get that focus off. Chip shot up from Jazz will give an opportunity over to the side of Flo. Can't quite get outside of that ball to put it back down, and you know what? We might get the series we were asking for. Thus far, looking at it, the potential is there.
For sure, we totally could get the series we're asking for, and you can see as well, Eagan gonna get another one though. I don't know, I mean, strong start from them, but you were also mentioning that you see the skill level being a bit closer in this one, so maybe SLP Omega just need to get things going. Just need to kick it into full gear here, and maybe they'll be able to get a few goals on the board. But as we start things off, over towards the orange side again is going to be Eagan right now, trying to get their third goal of the game. A little bit of a block attempt there. Nice little setup. EHS Jazz able to get that next goal on the board.
I mean, Egan is definitely coming out strong. You can see that the ability to get up in the air, there's definitely some a closer skill gap here between SLP Omega and Egan, but the edge is on the side of Egan, and it's coming down to their ability of on-ball play, understanding the 50s, where to position themselves in those challenges. But we're seeing something that we weren't seeing before in the previous series, which the person is there to challenge that ball at the point of contact. So I like seeing that. There's something to build off of there that you can start having a conversation with your teammate. If this game gets out of hand, you can start talking now. Angles. Flow. That's a BMO angle right there. He's rocking the BMO decal from V1, and he's trying to make the man proud. If you're going to rock it, you got to do something like that. The V1 goal explosion as well. Flo K hits a nasty angle.
Yeah, I don't know. We might be a bit biased towards Flo in this one, but
I mean, I'm just I'm a V1 biased kind of guy, but
oh, that's fair. That's fair. Shout out V1, right? But yeah, Flo doing a great job of piloting this one over towards the SLP Omega side. It's another one. Watch that logo fly. That is how you kick a goal off. That is amazing right there. I mean, I don't even see any opposition from SLP right there, as he just pilots that goal through the map right there. I mean, great setup. Finds the opening, gets it in super easily.
Chip touch down from Flo, put it off the backboard. Clips is going to have a moment with it. Tries to 50 his way through, but Jazz, you can see that he's watching. He's reading that player as they come in on the ball right up next to him, and at the last second realizes that the nose is going to get underneath the ball and lift it, so he pre-jumps and gets big. It's a phrase that we like to use a lot. It's basically realizing where that ball is going to go in that close-range battle, and basically positioning a part of your car, the hitbox, it's the strongest on your car towards that ball to kind of either dead stop it or create a backboard. So when that player hits that ball into you, it just chips back up over the top of them. And you can see that awareness out of Jazz so far in his 50 game. He's been doing well with it. Flo trying to show off a little bit of mechanics, cannot get his way through Amethyst, but that ball will fall back to Jazz. Now up over the top, just going to drop down and into the corner. Won't be able to make anything happen.
Yeah, great block there from Amethyst, but still over towards the orange side right now is the ball. Back over towards the top side, though, is Jazz. He's able to get another one. 4 shots, 4 goals. He doesn't miss a single shot he takes. 6-0 right now for Egan, and I don't know, our hopes of a quick series might be drifting away here, Supersonic.
It is closer, but there is the understanding of there's a bit more speed now, right? The mechanics are higher there on the side of SLP Omega than we had seen in the previous matchups, but it's still not quite enough. And in the other two, where we saw in Series 1, they were going for clips, so maybe the score line didn't explode up because it's extremely hard shots. They're pre-set up passes. In the second series, we saw them kind of go for them and set them up, and it was just kind of like, okay, I can freely chip this over. They're being challenged at the point of the ball, but the speed and the base level fundamentals, again, just a little bit higher on the side of Egan, and they're able to go through and make these plays happen.
For sure, and talk about making plays happen. It might be Amethyst to be the one to do so, but Jazz as well. Oh no!
So close.
Oh, almost. The block didn't come through. It was another great setup from Jazz. Clipsy can't get there in time. It goes in, and that's 7 for Egan.
I mean, I have to say it. There's a 1:17 on the clock, and you know, shout out to my boy Master Chief John Spartan 117. A bit of a Halo fanboy as well. I have to make the reference anytime that hits the clock. So 7-0 here now for the side of Egan, looking for the musty. That one will find its way through and over the defenses. They both get baited out, thinking that ball's going to come down, but the flip reset. Perfectly executed. Jazz able to set that one right behind the defense and put the 8th goal on the board here for Egan.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you really start to just see the way that this guy Jazz, especially as a goal maker, he takes these risks and he profits off of it almost every time. You can see, I mean, the shots and the goals, they don't lie. He hits all those shots low as well. look at the teamwork too, able to set that ball up to make it so that Jazz, he's still the safety net, has that ball now headed over towards the orange goal. The speed is there. Not gonna hit it in though. Almost though. Not quite the goal. However, Flo also here as well with Jazz. We hop on over towards his POV. Back on over towards the orange side right now. SLP Omega, good defense, able to bring it towards the mid-map. We'll see if EHS Jazz can maybe pilot this one back on over towards the SLP goal.
Let's see. Gonna try and get up with Flo there first. Good backboard read. Nice soft touch decision from Jazz to actually put that under the defender. Gonna let that bounce out of the transition. Looking for Flo in the midfield. Flo realizes he doesn't have the shot on that net and opts to play around that defender and just keep the ball in play. Those are also small differences. That is time in the game and understanding how to play around a player, where a lot of people, as you're kind of working through, hit a point where you were going to opt to go, I'm going to take the shot and hopefully I can just 50 this through him. He understands that he has the space to not shoot, but understands that he can put it into the corner and keep possession of the ball, take a player out of position and out of net, which would open up an opportunity. Had there been more time on the clock, most likely that isolates them into a 2v1 situation if that other player was able to get back, and that probably would have converted into another goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, when you look at Egan in general, you were mentioning the speed of this match is higher from both of these teams. But Egan, I think it's that speed just being a little bit more, right? A little bit more intense that's allowing them to catch hurdles. You can see it right there. Maybe we'll see it again and Flo. Well, the speed is there. He's able to get one early on. Great goal from Egan to kick things off here in game number 2 of the series.
That is probably something they're not used to running into on the side of Omega. Perfectly executed speed flip will get you to that ball a bit faster than it will for the other side, and it does look like they've opted to not move. I don't think Amethyst is going on the kickoff. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's not moving.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We could have a DC here. It would follow DC rules if he actually was disconnecting. It looks like both loading that ball. Production telling us that they are looking into it, making sure that everything is okay. I love the sportsmanship here out of Egan to just not touch that ball.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, so that opening goal that they scored, the defender should have had that off of that speed flip anyways, based on their position, but because they didn't move at all, the ball just kind of went right past him. It was an easy, like, side flip. A panic reaction would probably put you in the way of that ball. Slight turn, slight anything, as long as you just pushed your car in the right direction, you probably would have had it. So I'm not sure what happened. Sounds like production's saying that we're going to restart that match, so they'll figure out what's going on, get us back into that. But that's one of the things that I do love about Rocket League for the most part. The majority of the time at competitive level, you are going to see a level of respect given to the other side immediately, indicative of, hey, he wasn't there on that kickoff. Maybe he just didn't react. They go forward on the next one, and he realizes that he's in the middle of going for a speed flip to go forward. Jazz realizes that the other player is not coming forward for the ball on the kickoff and just dead stops. Does not hit it, does not go for it. They're not going to sit there and abuse that. It's like, hey, this isn't the game. This isn't what should be occurring. We're recognizing it and opts to do the, have the good sportsmanship and go ahead and stop. So I love seeing the sportsmanship come out of Egan on that.
Yeah, tippable for Egan for sure. And hopefully we can get everything figured out here relatively soon as we get ready to go into this game again. And yep, that one fully follows reset rules, first 30 seconds, first goal, all that. So yeah, we're going to be good to go to get a reset on that one. And, one thing that I kind of want to think about here going into this one is, I'm curious, what would your strategy be if you're one of these SLP players? Based on kind of what you've been noticing, what are you trying to change right now?
It's hard to make the decision without having a full understanding of, like, what is it that they are comfortable doing mechanically, right? You can't have the double commits, but you also can't just give away free space. So somebody does need to be there to at least not allow them to have the free touch up the wall or the carry the way that they want to, at least put a pressure on. I'd love to see if, like, something that would really help a team like SLP Omega would be understanding and working on how to do fake challenges. Driving, if the ball's on the ground and we're looking like that ball's going to go up or it's a sidewall, whatever, you basically speed down field, make it look like you're committing to come forward, which will cause that player with possession of the ball typically to speed up their play and make a touch, which causes an opportunity for not the ideal touch. You know, they don't have the time to think about it quite as long. And as you realize that they're going to go for that touch, you basically hard pivot and pull your momentum back towards the net and then look for counterattacks, having them come forward. The thing is right now, though, I believe that if they did start executing on that, it would work for them for about a minute or two. And I would expect Egan to then make the change and just play a very deep second player and wait for that, because most likely that first touch is going to have enough power that it's just going to send it back downfield, which would be a free catch and another opportunity for Egan to come back downfield. So it's a tough one, not knowing what the comfortability level is with different mechanics from this team. Having only our first look at them, obviously, on the first day of the season.
For sure, and you know, things could totally change, and talk about change as well. This one's already been a lot more stagnant than that first game. Neither team scoring just yet, but maybe speak of the devil, but we'll see. Not going to end up happening here. Clipsy going to get demoed there eventually, and 3 minutes now and declining on the clock, and middle of the field, just kind of where that ball sits right now, and it seems like Jazz hitting that one on over towards the orange side again, but Clipsy trying to get that rebound, setting it up with his teammate. Well, could be Flo, though, to get this goal. Maybe a bit of a block, but not lined up for the right angle. It's been pretty slow so far, both teams kind of just going back and forth.
I mean, on that attempt there, may not have had the right angle to block the ball, but the thing was is Clipsy realized he wasn't getting there and stayed on the boost, and what ends up happening is the touch is Flo's actually looking to make a touch and then follow that ball, right? That soft touch, when they're not just putting a little bit of power on it, they're just kind of soft touching it. The intent is there to chase that ball down. Clipsy, by powering through with the boost, actually goes through and bumps him out of the play, which still breaks it up, which is an effective block and allows a free ball for his secondary on the line to come through and then make that save or have the opportunity to go ahead and clear that downfield, outlet some of the pressure. Jazz around one, Amethyst there to make the save on the backside, and then again able to come through and make his touch here, sends one downfield. That's going to buy them some time, and we're just about 3.5 minutes into this. Scoreline still 0-0. So they obviously made some changes here on the side of SLP Omega. They're definitely playing more on the defensive half, but you're seeing less double commits. There's a communication change that has occurred. One goes, then the next, and there's no doubles over the top. They're not allowing side of Egan to bait two of them on a single ball touch.
And I mean, just space as well, right? They're making sure that there's not as much of that open space. There's always somebody there for protection. As you said, good touch there right now, and corner is going to be where the ball sits as it moves back towards midfield. Flo, great hit as well. Another good touch here from Amethyst. It's kind of going back and forth. It's like they're playing dodgeball a little bit, but 1 minute left in the clock and still no dice on the scoreline right here, and it seems like something's got to start happening here soon, but it's been pretty stagnant, and this one may go to overtime. We'll have to see. Flo, though, shot on goal. Another good block. I think that was by Amethyst. I couldn't quite tell. Might have just hit the post, but regardless.
Defender, I typically call that defender number 4 in the post, and then the crossbar is number 6. So you got, in the threes game, you got defenders 4, 5, and 6. The post and the crossbar. That time we'll call it defender 3. That post came through on the Jazz
again. Oh, there it is.
But yeah, Flo's gonna come through and punish that one. But the post is probably the best defender in the game.
Yeah, I mean, shout out the post, I guess, right? But at least both teams get a post, so makes it fair. But yeah, Flo, expect him to always come through there in the end eventually, and he's able to get that goal now. 20 seconds left here for SLP to score a goal. It's doable, but can they do it? That's the real question. Flo now towards the top side of mid right now. Oh, it's getting risky, though, close to the blue side. Jazz, though, great touch to push that thing back on over towards orange. It's going to be in the aerial now. Amethyst now back towards the bottom side, as well as EHS Jazz tries to control the ball. Maybe a victory lap goal. Not quite. Egan, though, with the comfortable 1-0 win in the second game as things have slowed down drastically here in this series. Maybe we'll start to see it get piloted in the SLP Omega direction afterwards. I don't quite know. Maybe Egan just close this one out cautiously within the next one too. We'll see.
In game one, Egan really felt like they had a lockdown kind of offense, right? Come through strike. Quick rotations where they're not rotating all the way back. They basically only make it out to the midfield. Go in, take your swing, look for a bump, steal a corner boost, basically try and starve the SLP Omega team out. And because they felt panicked and rushed, they were sending two for like every ball. And eventually you're just going to be out of the way, and that's going to be an open net for Egan to shoot on. This time they weren't doing that. It was individual. You're out. This guy's on the line. Okay? He's on his way back. A shot's coming. I'm going to go out and pass him as he comes back in, and he's able to swing his momentum, and you're able to get that rotation very well at breaking that up. And what was working for Egan in game one stopped working there in game number two. The problem is, as much changes they made, they haven't found a way to turn that into an outlet downfield. Jazz. My guy.
This guy
just goes off here. The pop shot to the back wall, goes ahead, gives it to himself again. Pass to just, making it look silly and making it look easy at the same time. Great play there from Jazz to go ahead and open this one up.
It's like he's playing paddleball with the side of the arena, right? Just back and forth between his car and the wall. Eventually hits it in. That's just mechanically one of the myriad things that Egan do so well, and specifically Jazz, of course. And, well, Flo as well doing a great job. Great touch now on over towards the orange side of the field as Jazz backing up to set this one up. I like that move right there because now he can wait for this ball as it moves on over towards that blue side. He's here already. Clipsy tries to do something about it, but Jazz with control right now. It's going quick over towards the orange side, but goalie number 3, it's going to be the post, making sure that it doesn't go in quite yet.
They're looking to try and set up some clip plays. I know Flo was in here watching that Burnsville series earlier, and that was one of those moments where he goes, if you can do it, we can do it. We're going to make the attempt, and it just about worked for them. Chip down out of the transition. That'll be an awkward ball for the side of Egan to try and cover up, and 50 through another, so some good plays back-to-back on ball from Omega, but Jazz covers, makes it back. Player forward in Flo trying to look for bumps, demos. That's going to put him out of position, and the hesitation. Clipsy needed to jump early, take that swing at that ball, but that slight hesitation and not expecting the recovery speed from Flo on the Egan side ends up taking that opportunity away as he's able to jump back up over the top and push that one out towards his own corner.
Yeah, and well, 3 minutes, a little bit more than that left on the clock here, and Amethyst now with a good defense over towards the side of the orange goal here, trying to get that ball away from their part of the arena, and now headed on back over towards the orange side as the ball again, though, as Flo and Jazz working well together to make that ball get on over towards that orange side, maybe just get another goal locked in, but now back on over towards blue is going to be Jazz. Great set of touches here to move this ball back on over towards the orange side of the arena. Now onto the wall is Flo. This could be it, but Amethyst, he is there for the interception, and now back on over towards blue we go. I feel like this one is just back and forth.
Yeah, this one has been a back-and-forth kind of battle at the midfield thus far. Nobody getting a clean look at net. And again, that's a testament to the side of Omega. Egan may be the one in the lead. They may be up 2-0 in the series. They may have the goal. They're trying to set up these pass plays. That one just off the mark again. Is Flo can't get that one over. But the defense, I have to give credit where credit is due. And the changes from game one to now have been massive on the side of Omega. Probably one of the biggest changes that we have seen. Again, it's a similar storyline. We're talking about you're changing things up defensively, but getting that side figured out is going to really help you as you get more comfortable figuring out how to do that better and better throughout the season. That's going to allow you opportunities to shoot the ball back downfield and create some opportunities for yourself. But this opportunity will fall off the back wall. Amethyst can't read that pinch as it does a bounce off the back wall rather than a roll. And that opens up a free shot. Egan now up 2-0 with 1:42 left here in game 3.
Yeah, and here's the thing as well with that adaptation component. I mean, they locked in, like, in a way that you usually don't see. Going from being 9-0'd to bringing it to at least a very, very low margin, right? You
Yeah.
maybe haven't gotten many goals, but still you're making them fight for it. And that is important. You know that you're good at defense. Now you just kind of isolate that to work on your offensive skills, and you're going to be in good shape in no time. Talk about good shape, though. It's Egan getting extra close to that orange goal, but now having to move it on over towards their side as now they try to pilot this ball to maybe get another goal on the board
Oh,
here
flip
in the
reset.
last minute here. Good reset, though. It's close to the orange. Jazz, another shot on the goal, but the third goalie pulls through once more. The angle's not quite there. And 50 seconds left, and it seems like Egan looking to take this one away here, and another 3-0 on the day.
Yeah, final 40 seconds here. Omega will have possession for a moment, but I do believe Jazz will win that 50, or at least push it wide out to the right side. Low should have it up and over the top, avoids the chipped bump, and is able to go through, but just wide of the net. Jazz able to chip it in. No, great diving save and recovery there from Clipsy. That'll send that one through, but Flo's there once again to cover that up. Those recoveries at speed, just a little too much time and time again for the side of Omega to handle.
Yeah, and talk about the time. It's only 10 seconds left on the clock, and then it is goodbye to SLP Omega, but they do get one. That is a good start here, but you got to get another one within 5 seconds, and I don't think that can happen. But Amethyst, great shot. Egan leaves the goal open, and he's able to get a nice score right there.
The recovery out of that bump is really what allows him to get away with that. It's something that's, when you look at pro play, if you go watch any of their streams when they have their controller up, you start realizing how often, and this one is going to end, Egan will take that down, but to finish that thought, you'll realize how often those players are holding their drift key so that when they hit the ground, they don't lose momentum and they have something to work off of rather than the ball basically, or the car hitting the ground and just dead stopping, and it'll cause you to like shift and then you're not lined up. It's harder to recover. Holds his drift key all the way through, so when he gets bumped, rather than that making his car roll, tumble, get thrown away, basically just hits the ground eats it, he slides and is able to boost and basically swing that momentum forward and beat them down the field. So a great recovery play out of him. That is a solid thing that a lot of players don't execute on very well.
For sure. And talk about execution. I mean, this has just been a day of execution, right? I mean, it has been consistent gameplay from 3 different squads today, able to find their way to their first win within the season here, and 3 squads going back to the drawing board, having some tough games and saying, hey, at least we got that one over with, and now we have the ability to learn, get better, improve for the next one. That's what it's all about in this first week. And I want to thank everybody who watched. We're going to go to a quick break here because we've got an interview coming up, I believe, with one of the players. I am waiting to hear confirmation of that. We have an interview with Mr. Flo himself from Egan. Going to be great. So don't go anywhere because we've got an interview when we come back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Minnesota Varsity League one more time. My name is Epiphany, and I've been joined by our guest Supersonic today, version 1 RLCS caster. Thank you so much for joining me today, man. It has been a blast. I've enjoyed every second of it. And we're also joined by a special guest. We've got Mr. Flo here for the interview after that amazing win over SLP from Egan. And I got to ask you, Flo, how does it feel to open up the season with a strong win like that? And is there anyone you're worried about going forward?
Yeah, I mean, getting the 3-0, obviously good. Obviously, that's what we wanted. Games 2 and 3, obviously a little slower by us. They adapted really well, so shout out to them. In terms of people that we're kind of scared of, I mean, obviously Burnsville, right? Like you see Dorka, and then obviously Kin is very threatening as well. But also, I've heard a lot about North High School. They've got an
Huh?
Angel in particular is allegedly a demon on the pitch. So definitely excited, but also nervous to go against them. They're not in our division though, so we don't have to worry about them until if we make it to state. So
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I mean, one, how dare you partially answer my question before I ask it to you? That first game did. Let's dive into that a little bit. Game one, 9-0 out the gate, come out strong. What was it on the changes that occurred on the other side? I mean, they weren't getting much going offensively, but talk to me a little bit about some of the changes they made defensively that was, kind of slowing it down for you.
yeah, I mean, so game one, obviously we just came in, we played our game, kind of went how we planned it to go. Game two,
Mhm.
uh, I honestly don't know. I feel like they just got more confident in their challenges, which surprised me a lot because normally when you get 9-0'd, you get a lot less confident yourself. So shout out to them because
Yeah.
they definitely got a lot more confident. Like Amethyst, I don't know, he's pre-jumping me off the wall. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, they were definitely just like giving us a lot of space. And obviously, like in game three, especially, you kind of saw us like going for clips a little bit, trying to get on the TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. I saw you trying to do the Dorcas
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
You guys, I know you were in the chat watching the first game. You're like, I think I made a comment of you were probably in your head going, if they can do it, we can do it. We saw the
yeah.
attempts for
I
sure.
mean, Jazz had a double reset, almost got the double tap, not quite in. That was pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Our mental was in shambles after that, but but
I didn't get the clip. It's over. The
the
series is
series was
it's
chalked.
it's chalk, boys. We got
It's
to get out of
chalked.
here. We got to go. We got to go.
But yeah, I mean, we got the 3-0, so not much to complain about. But yeah, definitely a really great strategic adaptation by SLP in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely looked like they made some good changes in that, and I think I mean, you can kind of confirm this for me or not. It felt like the rotation that there was less double commits. They were definitely double committing, not knowing exactly what to expect out of you guys in that first game. Their recoveries, they were back real quick, and they were making good decisions in twos where a lot of times you want to rotate back post in threes. They were making sure that front post was covered every time in those corners, and it felt like it was kind of slowing you guys down
Yeah,
there.
I mean, like, yeah, kind of what I was saying. Like, they just got more confident. They got a little bit more comfortable with us, which again is weird because we 9-0'd them in game one. But yeah, I mean, it definitely felt a lot cleaner by them. It felt like instead of like a we beat two at the same time, now there's an open net. Um, it definitely felt like we were getting challenged a lot more, a lot cleaner rotation. And I think the biggest thing is they started guarding their back wall. I mean, like you saw in game one, like we just play it to the backboard and it'd be, an open double tap. Um, and they kind of realized they're like, oh, wait, these guys they can double tap. And so they started guarding their back wall, which
Or triple. I saw Jazz. We were talking about it. We saw Jazz go up over one, do the little air roll, second touch off the back wall into the touch into
I
that
mean,
top left
yeah,
corner.
like
Yeah.
all I gotta say, like Jazz, he's a mechanical demon. He's so mechy. Like you can just give the ball to him and he's gonna score it. So as long as the post doesn't come in, we get that a lot. But
Nice.
yeah, you were saying that not on stream. Post is probably the best defender in the game, and that was really showing in games 2 and 3.
You're a V1 fan.
I,
You understand.
I yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gotta ask you about your teammate, right? Because Jazz, he was doing a great job in that matchup, and I kind of want to ask about that 2v2 dynamic that's different, right? How does your strategy change under that? Like, what would you say you are talking to him about when you're discussing how you want to go into a match?
I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, coming into this match, we were pretty confident. So like we were just kind of warming up. We were in free play, just getting the individual mechs on. We weren't really worried about team chemistry because Jazz and I have been a duo for like almost 2 years now. Um, so I think our chemistry is just like pretty good just off the bat.
That's pretty rare to see that actually occur within Rocket League for that period of time. And my expectations, you typically have duos, and it's such an online game. You end up with a duo that's typically in like another state, whatever. Having you guys actually be at the same school and being able to play off of that, that's actually huge. It's something I wasn't aware of. So that's got to feel pretty good going into a season, having somebody that you're that
Yeah,
comfortable
for
with.
sure. It's funny because I was introduced to Rocket League by a friend of mine. He ended up quitting right around the diamond level, but then through him, I've been friends with Jazz since elementary school, and then he was already good at Rocket League, and so
Okay.
I've been grinding, I've been kind of catching up to him, and now we're sitting at right around the same skill level, um, and obviously we go to the same school, so just having that is like we struck a gold mine. And in threes last season, obviously playing with Opto, did really well with him, 7-0 in main season. Um, we were already friends with him too. Like I'd been friends with him in elementary school. So in that regard, like we just got really, really lucky. The fact that we all were good and the fact that we all just are sitting at the same school.
Kind of unfair, you know?
I wouldn't say unfair. There are a lot of good duos this year. There's a lot deeper than last season, I'd say. Because I feel like last season you look at your top four, and that's kind of like that's the top four. And this season, I think there's a lot more potential for mix up.
Cool. I
Yeah,
look forward to
for
that.
sure. Well, it's been great talking to you, Flo, and I gotta say, it's been a great series of games today, everybody. I think this has just been awesome. And Flo, I've got one more question for you. Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I mean, shout outs to Jazz. Like I give him the ball and he scores. So definitely shout out there. Shout out to Haroon especially. Like Haroon graduated, right? Y'all know that. But like he's still getting involved with the program. Like he shows up to our meetings every couple of weeks, and he's actually our coach for Rocket League as well. But he's just kind of couldn't make it today because he had work. But so shout out to Haroon for coaching and for staying so involved in Egan Esports. And then shout out to Jazz, and that's probably about all I got.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Flo. Thank you so much for joining, and great job today on that first win of the season. Must feel good. And thank you, everybody who tuned into the stream. You guys are the backbone here of MNVL for supporting us, watching. It makes all of this worth it. And thank you, Supersonic, for joining me today, man. I'm looking forward to our cast together in the future. Truly, truly an amazing experience to watch these matches take place here on the first week of MNVL and to cast alongside you today. So, again, thank you so much from production, casters for tuning in, guys. And we will see you next time on the MNVL broadcast on Monday for some League of Legends.